Hey, what's going on, guys? So I know I'm a little late to the party, but I finally got around to watching the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so today I kind of wanted to give some of my thoughts on it. I did originally want to see it before it left theaters, however I was really busy with school at the time, and then obviously the current crisis we're in happened, so going to a theater just wasn't safe. But now that I have had a chance to see it, here's my take. So I've been really interested for a while in seeing Sonic the Hedgehog. Now Sonic isn't a character that I know a great deal about because I never really played any of the games or watched any of the cartoons. I mean, obviously I've seen some clips of the character online, so I have a basic knowledge of what he's all about, but I wouldn't call myself a Sonic expert. The reason that I was really interested in this movie is because of all the hype that was going on in the internet around the trailer. I of course don't watch movie trailers because I think they contain too many spoilers, but it was impossible to miss all the people who were so angry online because the Sonic character just looked so horrible. Everybody was talking about it. And then on top of that, they said that they were actually going to delay the movie so that they could redesign the character to be more accurate to Sonic's look. And that really caught my attention. And then around the time the movie came out, people were saying that it was actually pretty good. So I was like, yeah, I actually am interested to see this now. So now that I have seen it, I gotta say, I kind of agree with it. This movie actually is pretty good and I really enjoyed it. So the movie starts off really well by telling you everything that you need to know about Sonic. Sonic does run really fast, so it only makes sense that the pacing would be fast and tell us everything we need to know very quickly. In just the first 10 minutes, you know Sonic's history, you know what his powers are, you know what danger he's in, you know his hopes, his fears, his virtue, his flaws. Basically, for someone like me, this was really helpful because it tells you everything you need to know about Sonic. It tells you why you should like him and why you should root for him. I feel the fast pacing could be a detriment to the movie at times later because some things happen a little too quickly, but at the beginning of the movie at least I appreciated it. And as I said, the movie really is good at making you like Sonic and all the other characters. Ben Schwartz is great as Sonic the Hedgehog. I've really loved him as Dewey Duck on the DuckTales reboot, and he brings some of that mischievous charisma to this movie, so his performance is really enjoyable. Jim Carrey, of course, is also great as Dr. Robotnik. I'm not sure how accurate he is at representing the character from the cartoons and the games, at least for a majority of the movie, but he's always hilariously entertaining when given a chance to play a cartoon villain. The rest of the cast also does a remarkable job. While they're not as over the top, they do have a slightly upbeat and cartoony acting style that keeps Sonic and Robotnik from feeling too out of place in live action. So yeah, the movie does start off really strong. However, I would say the biggest drawback is that the plot is really not that original, and it kind of follows the formula of a cartoon character coming to our world, and hijinks ensue. While it's done in an interesting way, we have gotten to a point where that formula is becoming a little repetitive. I also think that the movie can feel underwhelming because of this. I'm not an expert on the character of Sonic, like I said, but it just feels like the movie could have been bigger and more rooted in the world of Sonic and taken advantage of all that stuff that we get a glimpse of at the beginning of the movie. Still, I found myself kind of forgiving of these problems for one simple reason. The movie is really well made. In fact, it feels like the filmmakers really cared about what they were doing. I talked about this at the beginning, but the reason this movie got so much attention before it came out was because of the trailer. The trailer came out, and I have now since watched it after finishing the movie, and yeah, Sonic looked really bad in that trailer. They were kind of trying to go for this somewhat realistic looking thing, but it was just kind of ugly and not pleasant to look at. And obviously the fans, you know, they just absolutely hated it and reacted very negatively towards it. But then director Jeff Fowler, he did something very surprising and actually said that they were going to fix the design, and he delivered on that. The CGI on Sonic is much better now. The overall character design is much better and more loyal to the Sonic that we have seen in other stuff, and that's really rare. I mean, obviously I don't think that directors and creatives should be dictated by fan opinion. However, I think that in this case it was smart to listen to the fans, and I'm really surprised that they did, but it paid off and the movie benefited as a result. There are also just a lot of other things about this movie that work. There's a lot of fun moments, all the characters are really good. There were actually quite a few surprising jokes and comedic scenes that I just did not expect them to include in this movie, and there were even some very thoughtful visuals. This may count as a slight spoiler, but near the beginning, Sonic is kind of playing a game of baseball with himself because he can't really reveal his presence to anyone, and after he finishes, he finally realizes just how alone he is, and he keeps trying to run in a circle really fast out of anger. finger, but he's running so fast that you just see his image staying in one place. And that's a really clever metaphor. It shows that no matter how much he runs, he's never really going to go anywhere, and that is just going to keep building up inside of him. And that was just a really cool moment that I didn't expect them to throw in, but I liked it. So to summarize, while it is small in scale and underwhelming at times, Sonic the Hedgehog is still a competently made film with extra effort put in that gives it an edge over other movies with a similar premise. It has a good cast who fully commit to their roles, and it's surprisingly well made, especially after they made the changes to Sonic's design. So yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a great movie, but it is definitely good, and I appreciate how the filmmakers put in extra work to make it feel special. I mean, seriously, spending $5 million and delaying the movie to fix the character animation, how often does that happen? If nothing else, the movie does a good job of introducing Sonic to people like me, and it makes me eager to check out some of the games and TV shows. And the small scale does leave room for the franchise to grow, so if they take advantage of what this one set up, the next movie could be really great. But what do you think of Sonic the Hedgehog? What's your take on the movie and the behind the scenes stuff? Whatever it is, feel free to share your thoughts down below. If this is your first time on my channel, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. Also be sure to check out my other videos, it really means a lot. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a great day.